Hey guys, how you doing? So Wavlink reached out to me and wanted me to review their 20 amp, 280 watt intelligent battery charger maintainer. And so I got to looking online to see, learn a little bit about it before I agreed to do it. And this is a very impressive sounding battery charger. And after playing with it yesterday, you've got to see this battery charger. It's a very nice battery charger. Now, I have not done a review on my favorite battery charger, which is the ProLogic 20 amp battery charger maintainer. But the first thing that I noticed about this when I got it in the mail was just how heavy it is. I mean, it's actually got some heft to it, as though there's, some guts inside it. But this is a battery charger that works on 6, 12, and 24 volt batteries. So pretty much anything motorcycle or car related, you're going to be able to use this battery charger on. But the second thing I noticed when I started pulling it out of the box is the cabling, both this cable and the cord. It's not that brittle, rigid, stiff, cheap wiring that you're used to on so many different products nowadays. This is actually a pliable, flexible wiring that, in the wintertime, it's not going to be stiff and you're trying to, get it stretched apart. So, you can see there just how nice and flexible that it's like a silicone based wiring. And then whenever you pick the third thing I noticed, well, I guess it still falls in the line of the first thing, but I mean, the thing it has some weight to it. And I was looking through the side here with my flashlight, and you can see it is just completely packed full of electronics. Now, so the only bad review that I read on this was a guy complaining that it did not use this style connector. Well, there's a reason they don't use this style connector. If you look at this connector versus this one, these connectors, they call these a SAE standard connector, 12 volt type connector. They come on all kinds of stuff, and they're only rated to a max of about 20 amps. A lot of people say 15 amps. This is a what they call a XL60 connector. A lot of RC cars use these connectors, and that's what this is. This is actually off of an RC car, and they're rated, you might guess, at 60 amps continuous, up to 180 amps momentary. So that's why they use these connectors, because the wiring on this is actually a pretty heavy wire. I don't know what gauge it is. I can't see that anymore with my eyes, but this will put out 20 amps continuous. Now they've got another version of this same charger that's a 35 amp continuous, and you're not going to want to use those SAE connectors on something that's going to deliver 20 or 35 amps of current. But I want to get this hooked up. I'm going to get it hooked up to my truck, because I want to go through the display and the features of this charger. Now, I hope that you're able to see the display in all its glory, because the display is super nice on this, and the navigating is very, very nice also. Now, obviously, it's not hooked up to anything right now, but I'm going to push these buttons. I'm going to try to walk you through, what's going on here. So battery type, if you look down here at battery type, you can hit the button. Now this is auto sensing battery also. So whenever you hook it up to a battery, it will at least attempt to the best of its ability to sense what kind of battery you're connecting to. But when you hit the battery type, you can shuffle through the different battery types. This charger also does AGM or lead acid, LifePO4, and lithium ion. Now, a lot of cars are coming out with lithium batteries now, so the battery chargers are going to have to start accommodating those. Of course, you got your voltage, So right here, it was set on auto. We went to 6 volt, 12 volt, now 24 volt. Back to auto. Amps, same thing. It's on auto right now. Go to 5 amp, 10 amp, 20 amp. Back to auto. You got maintain. So whenever I hit maintain, now up here in the upper top, you'll see maintain. Hit it again, it goes back to charging. Desulfation, you hit it once, it goes to desulfation. Hit it again, goes back to charging. Force mode, you hit it once, goes to force mode. That's so if you've got a battery that has got too low of a voltage to where the auto part of this charger won't start charging, you hit force mode, it'll start charging the battery. Hit it again, goes back to charging. And then of course you got your start button. Now the biggest question that I had whenever I first got this is, will it actually deliver 20 amps of current? You know, I mean, that's the question. So my truck's been sitting overnight. The battery does tend to run down a little bit quick because it's about 5 years old now. So I'm going to hook this up. I'm going to get an amp clamped around one of the cables here, and we're going to compare it to what it's showing here on the display as far as how much current. And I don't know if it's going to go up to 20 amps or not. I don't know how, you know, but we're going to see what it will at least go to on the initial hookup to this battery in my truck, and see if we can get close to a 20 amp current output of this charger. So let me get set up. I've got the negative hooked up. I'm about to hook up the positive, and we're going to see how the battery charger reacts. Okay, I'm hooking the positive up now. Okay, it looks like it's seen the voltage, 11.8. Everything is set to auto. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Give it just a few seconds. There we go. It's pumping in 12.3 volts, 12.4, 8 amps, 12.6, 12.7, 10 amps. See what the... Can you see the meter? We're at 12 amps on the meter. I don't know if there's glare. I can't tell if there's glare or not. And the way a lot of chargers work is, you know, they'll do like a pulse. They'll charge, then they'll relax, then they'll charge, then they'll relax. I'm not sure how this one's going to react. We're at about 13 amps, showing about 13 on the amp clamp. I'm hoping you're able to see that. $14 amps. We're showing 13 on the amp clamp, so it's about 1 amp discrepancy there. $14 amps. About 13 on the amp clamp. Looks like it's just a solid, stable, roughly 13 amps. Charging at 14.5 volts. I don't know if I turned the key on. Let me do that. I'm going to turn the key on and see if we can get that to go to 20 amps. $16.5, $16.7, 17 amps. $18 amps, showing about 17.5 almost on the amp clamp. On the $19 amps. $19.2, showing about 18.25 on the amp clamp. I mean, that's a pretty respectable output, guys, for such a small unit. It's got the little charge. If you look across the top, it's got the charge progress little meter there. We're showing about 19.5 on the charger. We're showing about 18.5 on the amp clamp. And I'm hoping that's all coming through. I can't tell from the glare. Anyway, I don't have a lithium ion automotive battery to check this on, but you can see why I'm impressed with this. I mean, it's putting out 19, almost 20 amps, you know, the rated amount. Well, if you go by the amp clamp over here, it's 18.5, which is still, in my opinion, right there where it needs to be. Anyway, this is the Wavlink 20 amp battery charger, maintainer, desulfator. They also have the 35 amp. I don't know if the 35 amp is physically bigger or not, but this right here may end up being my favorite battery charger, go-to battery charger. It looks like it's going to be able to deliver, you know, what I need. Wires are just slightly warm, which is another indication that it is definitely putting out some current. So anyway, just wanted to show you this battery charger and how impressed I am with it. The unit itself is not hot or warm at all. I can feel just a little bit of air, I think, blowing out of the side. But you can see it's putting out 19.5, 18.5 amp continuous without even blinking. Anyway, we're done. If you guys need a nice little battery charger, you might take a look at this because it looks promising to me. Anyway, you guys take care. We'll see you. Hey, one other thing that I also want to mention or demonstrate. By the way, the fan, it is running. You can't hardly even hear it. I looked in there and the fan is actually running. But if you hook these up backwards, the leads, let me show you what happens. You get an E and you get a beep. So I don't know if you can see the E and then hear the beep. You also get a symbol right here flashing. The display is nice and solid and smooth looking on the unit. I don't know how it's coming through since the shutter speed might make it look like it's flickering. Trust me, it's not. But you can hear the beeping, so you know it doesn't hurt the charger, it doesn't hurt the battery you've got it hooked up to. Just let you know that you've got them hooked up wrong and you need to hook them up properly. Just a quick comparison between the ProLogic 20 amp and the Wavlink 20 amp. Not a functional comparison, but size comparison. I love this battery charger right here. This is a rock solid battery charger, and it's been proven over time to be rock solid. But this right here, I'm very impressed with it so far. So if you guys are looking for a battery charger that's about half the price of this one, you might want to consider the Wavlink. Anyway, you guys take care. We'll see you.